Hey guys, Joe Tunney here at Infinity of Kirkland in Kirkland, Washington, just outside of Seattle. And although we have some construction going on behind us, that suits us just fine for taking a peek at this great looking and very low mile 2010 Jeep Wrangler just traded in here at Infinity of Kirkland. Now, in 2010, when Edmunds.com did their review of the 2010 Jeep Wrangler, they said, quote, in any reasonable hierarchy of wheeled conveyances, the 2010 Jeep Wrangler would only rate slightly higher than a vehicle pulled by a donkey through the streets of Kabul. They said the engine is anemic and thirsty, and the interior is loud as a dinner date with Chris Matthews. The car is as easy to break into as just undoing the zipper in the back, and then of course the rear window defroster works exactly the same, just by unzipping that rear window in the back. The front hood is actually held down by plastic glass, probably the last car in the universe was still held down by outside glass. It has big, huge, heavy-duty hooks in the front, and everything about this car is designed to be a throwback, I guess, to yesteryear. You know, you hear people say, you know, like the Mustang reintroduced, bringing nostalgia cars back to the forefront, and then Chevrolet with their Camaro, both of those brands bringing cars from the 60s to the modern era. Jeep's been making cars that look like they're from the 1940s since the 1940s. Now, this particular Jeep is really cool. It's got a lot of neat extras. It's in fabulous condition, and then of course it only has 25,000 miles. So for a 2010, that's great. And then also in 2010, Jeeps had a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. So even though this car's a little bit older, it's still actually under factory powertrain warranty. Taking a look at this particular car, the wheels on this car really look nice. Now, sometimes the small wheels look a little too small, and big custom wheels can look a little too big. Also, when you get bigger than stock diameter tires, the vehicle is going to drive differently, and so the previous owner added a wealth of options to this car, but one of them was one of those super chips that's programmed to adjust the shift points to exactly this size of tire. And so he conscientiously provided us, for a customer, whoever buys this car, for example, if you go to get a tune-up done at the Mopar store, as soon as they plug it in, it's going to go back to the factory settings and the car won't drive right. He gave us the apparatus that overrides that, so you can maintain the settings that are uniquely calibrated for this car. Kind of a cool touch. Taking a look along the side, the exterior looks marvelous on this car, and then this is set up with a Clifford alarm system with built-in power door locks, whereas factory they would be manual, and then crank windows as well. The interior is wonderful on this car. It also has navigation, it has a backup camera, really nice navigation, really nice backup camera as well. This one, all stock Jeeps, especially of the sport level, come with the soft top. It's a different soft top in 2010 than it was in 2009. It's a little easier to get on and off, but those jokes about the rear zipper are easily defeated, I guess, by going to the Freedom top, which is a 3-piece hard top, and that's the most often asked question in the Seattle marketplace when we're talking about, you know, people call, hey, I hear you have a Jeep in the in your inventory. Does it have a hard top? We hear that every single time, more often so than even if it's a manual or an automatic. It's just a really popular and valuable feature. It's not super expensive when the car is bought new, but it can be very expensive if you get it done after the fact. Taking a look around, I mean, everything on this vehicle looks absolutely perfect. It actually has 5 full-size custom wheels and tires, and then it's set up for trailer tow as well. And then if you look at the little sticker, super chips equipped, and we talked about that. When you do get the Freedom top, one nice thing, instead of the joke about having to unzip the rear window to defrost it, you actually get a full defroster and rear windshield wiper. Those are unique to the Freedom top. Passenger side, everything looks fantastic. I mean, everything looks fantastic. This car was just taken in on trade, so this isn't just some car that just came out of detail 5 seconds ago. This is actually a customer who really wanted to go over the top to make this car look amazing right from the moment that he brought it in. He bought a really cool, essentially brand new 2014 Ford F-150 that was also super loaded, and I'm sure he's already dolled that one up to his own custom tastes as well. And so, but looking at this car, you know it was taken care of in a way. Just Jeeps aren't taken care of this nice. Let's jump inside and turn it on. Now once again, Edmunds, in talking about the engine to this car, said it was about as anemic and thirsty as that same mule that was pulling the vehicle through Kabul, Afghanistan, and sounded about as good. Yeah, I mean, again, that's kind of the Jeep thing. This isn't some quiet, smooth, seductive, sporty type of number. It's something completely different than what everyone else has. Edmunds made fun that the door is held to the vehicle by a strap, and that is true. The reason it's held by a strap is that the doors are removable, and at least they did point out that with the doors off, it really is emblematic of the carefree and cool nature of a Wrangler. And so for all the negative things that Edmunds.com, for example, had to say about this car, what was their overall rating? It was 4.5 out of 5. In fact, it's one of the very highest rated sport utilities according to Edmunds.com testing. According to the market, Jeep Wranglers are the ubiquitous off-road vehicle, one of the most popular vehicles ever made, actually, and it goes back since its introduction as a military vehicle during World War II. Now, again, looking at this particular car, it has a lot of little doodads and gizmos. It has a place to put your phone. It has an extra armrest up here so that you can relax a little bit more comfortably. When I put the car in reverse, it has a full-size rear view camera as opposed to some rinky-dink aftermarket job. It's got a nice Pioneer stereo system, and then of course it's got the sound bar, and for those who haven't had a Jeep before, sound bar is speakers that are integrated into the roll bar. Turn it up. And the prior owner is one of about maybe a half dozen Jeep Wrangler owners in the world that appreciates classical music, apparently. But the navigation unit on this is really nice. It looks like a brand new high-end luxury car type of navigation unit. Stereo sounds great. Again, it's only got 25,000 miles, so it has super duper low miles. Tires are magnificent, the brakes are wonderful, it's had perfect service history its entire life. This is a neat car. It has a little over 200 horsepower. I refer to Edmunds a lot of my research on this car was done through Edmunds.com, and it's funny, they mentioned that it has 202 horsepower and 237 pound-feet of torque. In that same reference, they also mentioned that it has 205 horsepower and 240 foot-pounds of torque, so somewhere in the 200 and 240 range. But driving this car, it actually drives really well. I mean, it's not fast. I mean, it has a super short wheelbase. Obviously, they're made to go off-road. A short wheelbase with big wheels is dynamite for going off-road, but it's typically horrible for on-road. But they made some adjustments throughout the late 2000s, even prior to 2010, where it actually has a suspension that's built to keep the car, at least minimize the opportunity for the car rolling. And then it does have a heavy-duty Dana 44 rear end and a heavy-duty Dana 30 front end. Those are new generation Dana differentials, and so it's nice. I mean, this particular car is cool. Jeep Wranglers as a rule are cool. If you want something that's going to last a long time and have amazing resale value, they have spectacular resale value. You could do a whole lot worse than a Jeep Wrangler, and you could do a whole lot worse than this particular Jeep Wrangler. If you have any questions about this car, about Jeeps, or about anything here at our dealership, please don't hesitate to give me a call. My name is Joe Tunney. I'm the sales manager here at Infinity of Kirkland. You can call me anytime, 425-821-1600, or just drop me an email at joet@infinityofkirkland.com.